Moreover, most people believe that Ammon is the name given to Zeus in the land of the Egyptians, a name which we, with a slight alteration, pronounce Ammon. But Manetho of Sebennytus thinks that the meaning concealed or concealment lies in this word. Hecataeus of Abdera, however, says that the Egyptians use this expression one to another whenever they call to anyone, for the word is a form of address. When they, therefore, address the supreme God, whom they believe to be the same as the universe, as if he were invisible and concealed, and implore him to make himself visible and manifest to them, they use the word Ammon. So great, then, was the circumspection of the Egyptians in their wisdom touching all that had to do with the gods. Witness to this also are the wisest of the Greeks, Solon, Thales, Plato, Eudoxus, Pythagoras, who came to Egypt and consorted with the priests 5, and in this number some would include Lycurgus also. Eudoxus, they say, received instruction from Xenophis of Memphis, Solon from Sanchias of Sais, and Pythagoras from Onuphis of Heliopolis. Pythagoras, as it seems, was greatly admired, and he also greatly admired the Egyptian priests, and, copying their symbolism and occult teachings, incorporated his doctrines in enigmas. As a matter of fact, most of the Pythagorean precepts do not at all fall short of the writings that are called hieroglyphs, such, for example, as these: do not eat upon a stool, do not sit upon a peck measure, do not lop off the shoots of a palm tree, do not poke a fire with a sword within the house. For my part, I think also that their naming unity Apollo, duality Artemis, the hebdomad Athena, and the first cube Poseidon, bears a resemblance to the statues and even to the sculptures and paintings with which their shrines are embellished. For their king and lord Osiris they portray by means of an eye and a scepter. There are even some who explain the meaning of the name as many-eyed on the theory that Os in the Egyptian language means many and near-eye, and the heavens, since they are ageless because of their eternity, they portray by a heart with a censer beneath. In Thebes there were set up statues of judges without hands, and the statue of the Chief Justice had its eyes closed, to indicate that justice is not influenced by gifts or by intercession. The military class had their seals engraved with the form of a beetle, for there is no such thing as a female beetle, but all beetles are male. They eject their sperm into a round mass which they construct, since they are no less occupied in arranging for a supply of food than in preparing a place to rear their young. Therefore, whenever you hear the traditional tales which the Egyptians tell about the gods, their wanderings, dismemberments, and many experiences of this sort, you must remember what has been already said, and you must not think that any of these tales actually happened in the manner in which they are related. The facts are that they do not call the dog by the name Hermes as his proper name, but they bring into association with the most astute of their gods that animal's watchfulness and wakefulness and wisdom, since he distinguishes between what is friendly and what is hostile by his knowledge of the one and his ignorance of the other, as Plato remarks. Nor, again, do they believe that the sun rises as a new-born babe from the lotus, but they portray the rising of the sun in this manner to indicate allegorically the enkindling of the sun from the waters. So also Achis, the most cruel and terrible of the Persian kings, who put many to death and finally slaughtered the Apis and ate him for dinner in the company of his friends, the Egyptians called the sword, and they call him by that name even to this day in their list of kings. But manifestly they do not mean to apply this name to his actual being. They but liken the stubbornness and wickedness in his character to an instrument of murder. If, then, you listen to the stories about the gods in this way, accepting them from those who interpret the story reverently and philosophically, and if you always perform and observe the established rites of worship, and believe that no sacrifice that you can offer, No deed that you may do will be more likely to find favor with the gods than your belief in their true nature. You may avoid superstition, which is no less an evil than atheism.